running for governor? I think so, Karrin, because if you do, you're going to have my support.
Karrin Taylor Robson is answering President Trump's call.
And welcome back to Square Off. Karrin Taylor Robson has launched her second bid for the Republican nomination for Arizona governor. Her first 60-second campaign video had really just one message: President Trump endorsed me. Is that the ticket to victory in the 2026 Republican primary and the general election? Joining us to discuss that and much more, Tony Connie, Democratic consultant at Slingshot Campaigns, and Ched Haywood, Republican consultant at Camelback Strategy and a former executive director of the Arizona Republican Party. Welcome back to you both. First disclosures, Tony, you working for anybody we're going to talk about?
Nope.
Chad?
Have done work in the past, but not currently.
Okay, Biggs and Andy Biggs and Karrin Taylor Robson. Okay, got that out there. Let's start with Karrin Taylor Robson. She did not get Trump's endorsement in 2022. Carrie Lake did. Karrin Taylor Robson lost by 5 points. Was that endorsement decisive?
The Trump endorsement, I think Trump was 1,000% in Republican primaries in the last election. So that's the gold standard in Republican primaries. Her getting that endorsement with this announcement is a very big deal for her with primary voters.
And even going up against Andy Biggs, far-right congressman, Freedom Caucus, ally of Trump, steadfast ally of Trump. Is there a chance Trump might divide this? Because people were parsing what he said. You have my support. He didn't say I endorse you. Are we being too cute here?
Yeah, we might be being too cute, but he has done dual endorsements, so it's a possibility he endorses both of them. And then, we'll see what happens. But I think the real thing is, Robson, she now has to prove herself to a base of voters that support Trump that don't really have a lot of affection for her because of the last election.
And you heard that after the announcement came out. Rhino, never vote for her. How strong is that group within the base?
I think if you look back the last election, Lake had the Trump endorsement throughout for a whole year. And Robson was right there within striking distance. So Robson launching with the Trump endorsement, you're going to hear a lot about Trump from her in the coming months. There's a lot of voters that they're not on social media right now. They're not paying attention, maybe even a little election fatigue. And so there's a chance for her to be able to sort of reset a narrative, talking about incumbent President Trump and what he's doing. And some of the things he's doing right now are very popular at the base. And so it's a great opportunity for Robson.
Okay, and in fairness to viewers, I know this is really early to be talking about this.
Very early.
The primary is in 18 months, like 500 days. The elections in
That's how it is now, though.
21 months, 600 plus days. You still have 2 legislative sessions to get through, which leads to my question. How confident should anyone be that Donald Trump won't be a liability by then?
He absolutely could be a liability by then. That for sure. I think that's a possibility. I think the bigger liability that she has is that she has gone around and said things like he was a drag on the ticket. She's been critical of him both in the media and outside of the media. And she is trying to sort of invent this persona as somebody who's a government outsider when she was a lobbyist for 25 years. I think that when it comes, she has some challenges that she has to overcome. Trump might not be the biggest one.
Look, I think if you look at the coalition that Trump's built, this is people who've been there with him or people who's developed new relationships with. So I think this is early. She has an opportunity to set a narrative. She can raise resources. But it is very early. If we were at this stage in the campaign a few years ago, we'd be talking to Governor Salmon right now. It looked like Matt Salmon was the front runner in the GOP primary. So a lot could happen between now and then. But Karrin's now been through a governor primary. She knows the resources it takes. She has a network around the state. And Biggs will be formidable. He knows state government very well. And so it'll be a fun campaign.
And she has $17 million to play with, like she did last time. And Andy Biggs has never really run a competitive primary since his first one, I think, in 2016.
Well, and a voting record, right? And that's never been prosecuted statewide. So there's a lot that could happen between now and then.
All right. Let's go to news of the week at the Capitol. Election bill. Republicans passed what they called a wildly popular elections bill that they say would speed up the ballot count. Let's take a listen.
Many times have we heard the governor and the secretary of state tell us that we need to listen to our county election officials? Many times, I would posit to you. That's what we're doing at the legislature. I encourage the governor, please sign this bill.
Swoboda, the Arizona Republican Party chair, Governor Katie Hobbs made it clear pretty quickly she won't sign that bill. Democrats call it wildly irresponsible. Who's right and why?
Oh, the governor is right.
No.
Because I'm the Democrat. No, I mean, like, look, first of all, is this bill wildly popular? If you look at, they're trying to solve a problem where a bunch of people are have made the decision to drop off their ballot at the end. That is what they're trying to overcome. Voters have made the choice to turn the ballot in when they've turned it in. I haven't seen a poll, maybe you have, that says it's popular or not. I know that the governor's office did negotiate to try and say, here are some things that I would take, that I would, I will give you this if you give me that. Things like, same-day voter registration, which would require people to show their documents, to fill everything out, and then they would be able to vote, which, would work. It's not a big deal. But they weren't willing to move. They wanted to have it their way. And so, you got to negotiate.
That's interesting how you define it about people. It's about people dropping off their ballot.
I think this bill's a no-brainer. I think you look back at all of the text messages we got for weeks after the election. Is Arizona done counting? Is Arizona done counting? I don't think there's any appreciable huge turnout issues in states like Florida. The reality is all of us, if we have a test the next day, we have homework due the next day, we wait until the night before. And so when people drop these ballots off that they've held for 28 days and you move that deadline up, we're just going to get results much quicker, a lot less conspiracy theories, a lot less questions. And this is how elections are done in other states. We could do this. It's not a big deal. It'd be a huge mistake for the governor to veto this.
As she heads into what's going to be a competitive re-election campaign, does she need a win? And is this the place to get that win?
I think that this is an issue she cares about. Back when she was Secretary of State, I think that she genuinely believes that this is protecting voting rights, and this is she's viewing this through that lens. Like, what's the right thing to do? I mean, I can't imagine that conspiracy theorists are going to all of a sudden decide to stop making up conspiracies because of the results are coming in faster, right? Like, there are still people out there right now that are saying, that Ruben Gallego actually didn't win or whatever. And so, like, that's not the thing to be chasing here. The thing to be chasing here is the right of people to vote.
Okay, got to end it with Ruben Gallego. Thank you for setting me up like that. According to Rolling Stone magazine, Ruben Gallego is he's the top Democrat on the Senate's Digital Assets Committee, which oversees cryptocurrency, has a hand in that. He's holding a Sedona retreat next month with major crypto money man Mark Andreessen, billionaire Mark Andreessen. Anyone see a problem here?
I can't believe I'm going to defend Ruben Gallego on this show. Look, Mark Andreessen was a founder of the internet. He's a big investor in Google, Meta, crypto. That's someone you would want to partner with to understand something you have oversight over and regulatory sort of authority over. And so I have no problem with him meeting with Mark Andreessen, having him at a donor retreat. If he feels like he gets a donation that he needs to return, I'm pretty sure that Ruben Gallego, who raised millions of dollars, isn't going to change his position on crypto because I've got a $5,000 donation from Mark Andreessen.
Well, he got a lot more than that from the crypto folks, millions in his campaign just ended. Notably, Kyrsten Sinema, former senator he replaced, is also now a crypto advisor lobbyist.
I think that he understands that if it is perceived that he is voting a certain way because of a donation, that's not the kind of thing he's going to do. One thing I do know is that, like, in this crypto space, there are a lot of bad actors out there. There needs to be stability, and that's one of the things that they have in common. And I think that that's part of what we're going to talk about.
Okay, got to end it there. Chad Haywood, Tony Connie, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.